Hello guys, welcome back. I've been working through this whole thing and working through the Jesus Crazies, and they come and they stay for a while and then they go away. As I've been working through that, I've had these weird things. I wouldn't call them visions, but I don't know what they are. I'll be in bed. I'll be really relaxed. I'll just let my mind wander, okay? And I've discussed it with the gods, and they're like, yeah, it's okay. One, right before I'm going to sleep, is I have this front door closed. It's night and there are lights outside. And Odin has appeared as he used to appear to me as a child, only I didn't know it was Odin. He's a young, I think, Englishman, and I don't know why him being from England is so important, but it is. Okay, just deal with me. From World War I era, uniform, the green uniform. And he's got close crop gray hair. So he's young, yeah, he has this gray hair because of Odin. And he has his forehead on my door, and the door's closed, and he has his hands up against the door like this. And he's wailing like someone died. And he's wailing like he wants more than anything to get through that door. And I'm like, you know me, I will find 500 interpretations of a dream and none of them will be correct. So I wasn't sure what to make of that. And then last night I had another one where I'm out in the snowy field and the black and white wolf. I see a lot of running around me in a circle, around me in a circle. I get the idea that there's like 20, 30, 40 other wolves with them. I just can't see these wolves. They're like wind wolves, I guess. And they're running around me too. And it's like a celebration. And I'm in the middle, and it's clear these wolves are putting up like a wall of protection. They're like, you're okay, we're here, wolf is here. Okay. I get up this morning, and I'm like, okay, the Jesus Crazies are going away. I'm getting back to being a proper pagan. Jesus Crazies come and go. They're just always going to do that. And I decide, as I'm working with Odin, I'm getting like these little blips and videos and that, and I can't even remember them all because I should have sat down and did this first thing. That I'm going to take the camera out and I'm going to film for you guys, and maybe it's still raining and maybe I can get that heart that I put out every Halloween, and you guys didn't see it, but it's a chain of hearts and there's black and orange skulls at the bottom of it. I put it out every Halloween if it's possible. I'm sure the neighbors love me. But it was for sale one year around Halloween in one of those dollar stores, and I'm like, oh, bless their hearts, they have no idea. Yeah, in Victorian times they did do love magic at Halloween, so there you go. And I go out to film it, and the rain has just stopped. I'm like by the time I get all my gear together and get my old lady butt outside, the rain has stopped. You don't know how many times I've done that, and the rain stops right as I get outside. And I'm like, well, I'll still film it. It'll be. And I'm having trouble getting the angle and everything I want because what I see with my very poor eyesight is obviously not what the camera sees. And I start filming and crow comes. And my crows around here are mischievous. They used to tease me for years. They kind of tracked me as I went for walks. And the greatest fun would be to land somewhere to pose very magnificently and wait for me to get the camera out. And as soon as I got the camera out, and they fly off like a jerk that they are. They would do it on purpose. And this one saw I had the camera out, so their other favorite thing to do is sing sassy songs about, yeah, I'm over here, but you can't see me because I'm hiding. I'm hiding and I'm watching you, and I sing sassy songs at you. And you could hear in that video the crow kept coming closer and was still trying to keep hidden, but going at me. And they've been doing that lately, coming and teasing Mommy because Mommy used to be the dispenser of hot fries. I was like, well, I'm not going to give you fries, but you didn't come down and, like, get right in the middle, you know, like, jump on the camera or something else. Because this to me sounded like I'm thinking of doing something. I'm thinking of coming over there and helping you. And I'm trying to mime to a crow. And the neighbors, I think, saw me, so that was great. And I decided I'll take out a little shiny ribbon I had because they like our little doodle daddle. So I'm like, it should be pretty crow safe. And if they like it and they take it within a couple days, they can have it. It's their toy. And if they don't, I'll bring it back in. Sometimes I offer them a toy and they take it and there's a toy in its place. And sometimes nothing at all. But since I've been finding like the crow feathers and I've been having crows land really close by, but always making sure they're hidden in the leaves. And I have it on tape, so I know I'm not hallucinating crows. Um, it's definitely like, okay, here you go, crow, thank you. And I knew without a doubt it was Odin. And some other videos came up, and it was definitely Odin saying, I'm the god," because I tried to work with my runes. I was like, let's just get this settled once and for all, because you guys have to be tired of circle time, and I am tired of circle time, and I'm like, I just want to go straight forward. And the runes wouldn't talk to me. And so I got out my rune cards, and it was like, it's always been Odin, da da da, and it had like the Norns and everything else, because there are those tarot cards. Let me see if I still got them on top. And I can do this. Because I usually leave my fortune on top, just in case I need to review it. So, ooh, and I have them in reverse order, so you'll see them the right way. I got that. Eight-legged steed. I kept thinking that was Braggy, and then I looked. He has one eye, and he has two ravens. He's got the hallucinogenic mushrooms, and he's got the mead of inspiration. I don't know what this person was making, and I got that. I was like, okay, this is definitely Odin saying, I know you were scared to death in church, because, you know, I share with you guys that kind of story because it helps you know where I'm going. And the way God was presented to me was that if you ever left God or you ever left the church, or God forbid you became a Protestant, God was going to torture you for all eternity, but first he would make sure you lost everything in life. I mean, they scared us at every opportunity possible. So by the time I was in high school and this loving God came out of nowhere, it was way too late, because where were they finding him? You know, for people that don't ever read their Bible, unfortunately, the church kind of shot itself in its foot. And we're kind of predestined or almost pre-programmed to either become spectacular atheists. A lot of noted atheists grew up Catholic. I think it's something interesting. Or to go become very evangelical, because here's this Bible, and if we're taught to do one thing, it's to obey order without question. And the Bible's orders are certainly not the church's orders. And they're certainly not this God of love they're talking about. So what happens? We have a breakdown at some point. And I realized I was never really feeling, I was feeling drawn, but I think it was, you're drawn to figure this mystery out. You're drawn to figure all this stuff out. So I did a lot of work with Freya and Freya yesterday to work with them, and I realized I had run into the friends. And not friends, you know what I mean, but I'm still civil to them. And I couldn't figure out, but neither one really wanted to talk to me. I could tell this would be kind of like the last time we would talk, even though she called me over. And if you would have seen them, you would have thought they're either going to lose their home or they both have a terminal diagnosis. They were that cheerful. And she has her table set out just so. She has a writing pad in front of her, and she has some kind of business card, which I couldn't, I couldn't read. None of my damn business, but I said, "What's wrong?" "Nothing." Then I realized she saw the giant Thor's hammer I have on my front door, and it's red to celebrate that Thor was like, you know what? I don't care if this Christ figure is coming in, but you are not just going to take our people from us. He can play nice with everybody else, but no, Thor's going to stand up for his people, and, the red Thor versus the white Christ. It's kind of like this idea of some pagans were like, just leave us the hell alone. Do whatever you want with your God, but go the hell away. So it's this idea of, I'm not doing it to be aggressive or mean, but it's like I am thankful for that you had people that were inspired to hang on as long as they did, or we would know nothing at all about the gods. We would just pray not even have any stories left because somebody somewhere, probably Odin and Loki, had to inspire all this stuff to happen. So I'm looking at my front door and I realize I got 2 wolf paws, 2 ravens, a bunch of roses, some hearts, Loki's runes, almost all the runes in the runic alphabet on the upper part of the door, a gold sun and a rainbow, and 2 sets of grapes for some odd reason. And I realized, because I was like, who's the main god for me? Who's the main god for me? And Loki's kind of semi-retired. He doesn't mind. And I'm like, who's the main god for me? And I'm looking at this door covered with runes and Thor hammer and wolf paws and 2 ravens. And I'm like, who's my god? And then I'm like, oh. So it kind of all clicked. And Odin says he knows I have this fear of not being provided for or all this other stuff, but he says, it's going to be fine. We're going to provide for you, and, no desert deity is going to come and knock your house down or something like that. And he's advised me constantly. He doesn't care who I serve, but he doesn't want me serving out of fear. He said, if you're approaching this of, I'm ultimately afraid God's going to come over here and knock my house down or give me a fatal disease because I didn't do what he wanted me to do. He says, that's not a good relationship. He says, hopefully you're serving me because you love me and you want to be with me. And this is your own free will. It's not, if I don't serve this God, something dreadful will happen. I looked at him, I smiled. I'm like, it's kind of because you never go away. And he just smiled. But he's been loyal and faithful, and so is Loki. And I finally had to come to the point where it's like, if I see happy fun time, tutti fruity, new agey stuff that on Odin, on Jesus or God, that's nice. But to me, it's like that really actually doesn't have anything to do with the message of Christ I was brought up with. There's nothing to do with the Christ or the Jesus they taught us about in church. And I finally reached a thing of where I think I like the idea of Jesus. I like the idea of God as these fluffy, benevolent deities that will give you whatever you want and will just give you hugs and love you. And I feel so happy that there are people that have that relationship. I'm like, we never had that relationship. My Jesus was really into the new age, which should set off alarm bells for everyone because there is this kind of new age Jesus out there. And no, it's not a demon in disguise, but I'm like, this has to be a pagan deity. No, that book I'm getting presents a very pagan Christ. It presents a man who was maybe semi-divine, maybe not, but he was doing everything people weren't supposed to do, especially priests. Priests were straight up not supposed to talk to women. It's still the same for, rabbis and everything. They weren't supposed to talk to women. They weren't supposed to hang out with prostitutes and people who drank and people who partied and people who practiced other religions and talked to children and all this other stuff. Jesus was basically like, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm here for these people. You're not. And the religion back then was kind of like what we have today. It was very state controlled and it controlled the state. So it was like this thing of you do it our way or we'll crush you. And Jesus was like, I don't care. You can do whatever you want to me, but my message will live on. So I know that's kind of a very different Jesus, but it seems like what they end up with is the idea of a cosmic Christ, which is God in everything, which you could do that with any god. You could do that with a cosmic Loki or cosmic Odin or cosmic Thor. Whatever god makes sense to you and you resonate with. But for me, it's just I realize now, I can never work with those divinities and not think about sin, not think about the Bible, not think about church, not think about being told, homosexuality was a sin, and, obviously you can't be a witch and go to church. Those two things do not match. Unless you go to the UU church, they don't care. So it was just, Odin was being very patient, and he was showing me, he's like, I'm the one who always provided for you, him and Loki. Loki's still getting lots of love and affection. Don't think because Odin's taken up a lot of camera time that Loki's not getting a lot of love and affection. In fact, he got love and affection the way he always does. I was trying to film and the camera would not cooperate, and I'd say, God damn it, Loki, stop helping. No, I'm not help. Stop it, damn it. No! I'm helping. Damn it, Loki, the camera's broken. God damn it, Loki, stop helping. No, I'm gonna help. So it's funny, if he wouldn't have been screwing around as much as he was, we would have started filming earlier and we would have probably missed a crow. I have no idea. Maybe it was a Loki crow. I don't know. But it feels like hopefully this is the final time we get this Jesus Crazies. And Odin's told me, if it comes up 20 more times in your lifetime, I won't be surprised. You live in the culture. I can't even turn on the classical music station now on any given day of the week and not hear religious music. And I'm like, okay, at this point, I draw the line. I'm getting mildly pissed off. It's one thing for them to love their religion and everything, but when it's on the radio every damn day, I'm getting a little pissed off at this point because I don't need to hear this every day. Keep it to Sunday. But no, it's every day now, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just a little tired of hearing this. So there goes the classical music every night because I'm like, I'm just tired of hearing it at this point. It's like, no wonder I'm having so much trouble with my faith. Because you turn on the radio, there it is. You pick up the flyers. There's a company around here that actually uses a cross in their logo. And I'm like, can you even do that? Apparently so. And they claim they follow Jesus, and so therefore they won't steal from you. I'm like, there's the people going to steal from you right there. And Loki's like, it's understandable. And you got these people on Pinterest now that will put tags on Jesus stuff so that it comes up for pagans and Wiccans and everything and try to get you to repent. He's like, no wonder you're having trouble. And I can't just isolate myself from everything in the world. That doesn't make any sense. But he's like, no wonder you're having trouble. No wonder you think God is sending you signs. It's just so omnipresent. So that was really healing too. And part of it was, it can be Odin or Loki or someone just saying, wow, this is all the stuff that's laying around. I'm going to use this to talk to you. So it can be that too. Unless it starts talking about sin and hellfire, then it's not one of our gods. So, I hope that helped. Oh my god, I ran on forever, but it's been hard. I know it's been hard on the gods, and that was the worst part for me. Not the hardship on me, but for them, because I know I love them. And I know if it feels like they're suffering or unhappy, I suffer and I'm unhappy. So I just want to do the right thing by all of us. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.